If you bought a truck and it's been back to the dealer 3, 4, 5 times for the same damn problem, I need you to hear 3 sentences because you've probably already heard them at the service center. Could not duplicate the concern. They all do that. It's fixed. This time. Here's the lie underneath all 3. That you're stuck. That fighting a manufacturer means lawyers you can't afford, years in court, and a fight a working man just can't win. That your only option is to keep bringing it back and, of course, pray harder. That's the lie. And here's the truth. They've kept quiet for 50 some odd years. There is a federal law, the Lemon Law, that makes the manufacturer pay your lawyer fees. Win your case, the attorney costs you nothing. 0. The manufacturer writes the check. They know. You don't know that. Their whole playbook depends on it. This is that story. All right, so first let's go over the definition because the word gets thrown around in the wrong way. A lemon isn't a truck you regret. It's a vehicle with a defect that substantially impairs its use, value, or safety that the manufacturer, through its dealer, can't fix after a reasonable number of attempts while it's under warranty. Every state has its own lemon law, and the numbers vary, but the pattern is the same almost everywhere. Roughly 3 to 4 repair attempts for the same defect, or the vehicle sitting in the shop somewhere around 30 days total, usually inside the first year or 2 of ownership. Some states are tighter, and of course some are looser. Check yours. I'm not going to pretend that I can fit 50 states in a sentence here. Link is in the description box, of course. But here's the important part. Those repair attempts are a clock, and every single thing that happens at that service center, every could not duplicate, every no problem found, every week your truck sits waiting on a repair is either building your case or it's burning your clock, depending entirely on whether it's written down. The repair order is the whole ball game, folks. Same complaint, same words, every visit, dated, signed, keep every copy. If it's not on paper, as far as the court's concerned, it never happened. Okay, now let's go over the part they never quite put in the owner's manual for some reason. You know, the good stuff. In 1975, Congress passed the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act. We've talked about this a few times on this channel. It's the federal lemon law. Well, buried in it is the provision that changes everything. Section 2310 D2. If you win a warranty case against a manufacturer, the manufacturer pays your reasonable attorney's fees and court costs, on top of your refund, of course. Separate from it, Senator Magnuson said the quiet part out loud when he wrote it. He argued to Congress, paraphrased of course, enforcing a warranty in court is so expensive that consumers had no real remedy at all. So make the manufacturer pay the legal bill, and suddenly the little guy can afford to fight. Nearly every state wrote the same fee shifting rule into their own lemon law. Think about what that means in practice. Lemon law attorneys take these cases at no charge to you, no retainer, no hourly bill, because when they win, they bill the manufacturer. A straightforward settlement case can run $5,000 to $15,000 in legal fees. A contested case that goes the distance can run into 6 figures, usually. The manufacturer pays it. That's not charity. That's the law working exactly as designed. It makes dragging you through court more expensive for them than just making you whole in the first place. And that's why most of these cases, well, they never reach the courtroom. Somehow or another, the manufacturer's lawyers figured out how to do math. One honest caution, though, because I don't sell fairy tales on this channel. Fee shifting kicks in when you win. Ask any attorney you talk to 2 questions before you sign anything. Do you collect from the manufacturer, or from my settlement? And what do I owe you if we lose? The good ones answer the manufacturer and nothing. But as always, make sure and get it in writing. Now, before I show you their playbook, if you're driving something that's been back in this shop over and over, hit subscribe right now. Lawsuits, recalls, warranty games. This channel puts the actual record in front of working people. The next video might be about the truck in your driveway. You never know. Okay, so if the law is this strong, why do most lemon owners walk away with nothing? Because the manufacturer built a system to catch you before you ever learn, well, what you just learned. Play one, they run the clock. Those service counter phrases from the opening aren't customer service. They're basically time management. Every could not duplicate that doesn't get written as a report attempt is one less attempt on your tally. Every goodwill gesture, every bring it back if it does it again, moves you closer to the edge of your state's window. They don't have to beat you. They just have to outlast the calendar. Now, play two is interesting. They'll steer you into their arbitration, where you finally push, you'll get pointed towards an industry dispute program. The biggest is BBB Auto Line. Free to you sounds natural, right? Here's what the fine print says. The program's funding is committed in advance by the participating manufacturers. It was organized by the industry, of course, itself, back in the early 80s. General Motors led the charge. No surprise there. And in some states, you're actually required to go through it before you can sue. Now, the decision is only binding on you if you accept it. And plenty of people do fine there, from what I hear. But understand what it is. A process. The manufacturer funds resolving disputes in about 40 days with no fee shifting or hammer hanging over their head. They didn't build it because they love referees. They built it because it's cheaper than facing your free lawyer. All right, play number three. Recycle the lemon. Here's the one that should piss you off just a little bit. When a manufacturer buys back a lemon, that truck doesn't just get crushed somewhere. In most states, it's perfectly legal to fix it, brand the title Lemon Law Buyback, and sell it again at auction, back onto a lot for some other schmuck. Disclosure rules exist, warranties on the defect exist, but titles get moved across state lines to places where weaker branding rules apply. There's a name for it. It's called title washing. Lemon laundering, if you will. Today's buyback is tomorrow's great deal 3 states away, which means this law doesn't just protect the guy who bought the lemon new, knowing it protects the next guy from buying it used. Run the history report every damn time, okay? The pattern is the one we always find. The system isn't broken at all. It's working perfectly fine for them. It only breaks in your favor when you actually know the rules. Here's the verdict, the charge. For 15 years, manufacturers have counted on you not knowing the federal law makes them pay for your attorney, while they run out the clock at the service counter and steered you into referees they funded. The evidence, Magnuson-Moss, 1975, fee shifting written into the statute, parallel provisions in nearly every state, attorneys who cost you nothing when you win, and an industry that would rather settle than let those cases reach a jury. So here's your marching orders moving forward. If your vehicle's been in 3 or more times for the same problem under warranty, get every repair order. Make sure your complaint reads the same on every one, and put your problem in writing to the manufacturer. Certified mail, not a phone call. Then talk to a lemon lawyer attorney before you accept arbitration, before you accept a trade-in offer, before you sign anything. Consultation is free. Ask the 2 questions we went over before. If your state makes arbitration mandatory first, walk in with your paper trail and an attorney's advice behind you. The record doesn't lie. The statute's public. The repair orders are evidence, and the clock is running either damn way. If somebody you know is on their 4th trip to the dealer for the same rattle, the same stall, the same failure, send them this video before the calendar runs out, not after. They'll end up hating me if you send it after. One more thing before you go. Tonight was about one truck, yours, and the law gave you a weapon to fight back with. But I've been pulling on another thread for a few weeks now, and I need you to see where it goes, because the reason the trucks cost $66,000 in the first place, the reason there's no cheap truck pretty much left anywhere in America right now, isn't the market at all. It's a 62-year-old law that almost nobody's ever heard of. And I swear to you, this is true. It starts with a fight, believe it or not, over frozen chicken. That video drops next. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Because once you see how the truck market actually got rigged, guys, you can't unsee it. I'm the Highwayman, and I'll see you at the next exit.